4, 3, we are live.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 9th April 2025 meeting of the Audit, Finance and Risk Committee of the Toronto Seniors Housing Corporation. I'm Lawrence D'Souza, Chair of this committee. This virtual meeting is being live streamed on YouTube. In addition to the participating board members and the leadership team, I'm pleased to welcome our virtual audience and thank you for joining us. I would like to recognize that April is Genocide Awareness Month and Sikh Heritage Month. Also, today, April 9th, is International Day of Pink. This weekend, April 12th, will start Passover. I want to thank Grant, Vince and their team for the preparation of the materials brought forward for today's meeting. We have no deputations today, and in the public session, we will be reviewing procurement report and change order, 2024 financial results, and 2024 operating surplus. In the closed session, the external auditors will be presenting their 2024 financial statements audit findings report. Let us begin with the land and African ancestral acknowledgement. I'm getting some background noise.
Yeah.
Yes, someone can mute. Yeah, okay. Though we may be meeting virtually in different locations, as a committee of a City of Toronto Corporation, we acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaties, signed with the multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands. The committee acknowledges all treaty peoples, including those who came here as settlers, as migrants, either in this generation or in generations past, and those of us who came here involuntarily, particularly those who brought to these lands as a result of the transatlantic slave trade and slavery. We pay tribute to those ancestors of African origin and descent. We will now proceed to item number 13, approval of today's public meeting agenda. Are there any amendments? Hearing none, may I now have a motion for approval of the public agenda by a member of this committee. Moved by Warren, and I need a second.
I second, Lawrence.
Seconded by Farid. Thank you both. All in favor? Carried. Next, we'll move to item number 4. That is a declaration of conflict of interest, if any. Does any member have any conflict under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act? Hearing none, let us move to the next item. That's item number 5. Approval of the public session minutes of this committee's meeting held on January 30, 2025. Are there any amendments? Hearing none, may I have a committee member move a motion for approval of the minutes? Moved by Warren, seconded by Farid. All in favor? Carried. Next is item number 6. That's approval of the minutes of the closed session of the meeting held on January 30, 2025. I need a mover. Moved by Warren and seconded by Farid. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next is item number 7. That's a review of the AFRC action items. We do not have any outstanding action items within this committee. So we will move to the item number 8. That's CEO's update. Over to you, Tom.
Yes, thank you, Lawrence. Good afternoon, everyone, and through the chair to the committee. There's two items that I would like to update the committee on this afternoon. One is that we completed a tabletop, a crisis management tabletop exercise on March 31st with the Toronto Community Housing Corporation, and the focus of that exercise was on an IT crisis management capabilities and myself, Brad, and Grant were at the table, but then supported by staff, Carol, and then some of our other staff were present as well. And it was, a very good exercise, but certainly, reflects the commitment to both of the organizations and their work on the crisis management plan. And as I mentioned, this one was specifically around a cyber security attack, and it was, it was a 3-hour exercise. And it certainly, for this was the first time where there was such a comprehensive and larger group present for this exercise for both organizations. So it was very helpful for us to move through that. And the intention, is to do this exercise, something similar again in 6 months, and then also kind of adjust the crisis management plan as it will evolves, and we want to improve that. So it was good exercise for both of the organizations. And then secondly, just wanting to let the committee know that the commencement of an audit by the Office of the Auditor General of the city, and this was the focus of this audit is on the capital planning process and the prioritization of capital project spending, and the impact that the delivering of the state of good repair. So that's the capital repairs to the buildings that takes place across both TCHC and TSHC. And this certainly, I think, is a timely and will be a helpful audit for Toronto seniors housing, and that we can just kind of understand, I think, more and get clarity on, and I think more involvement in the capital planning process, and then also in terms of the delivery of those capital projects in our buildings around as seamless processes as possible. So we had the initial meeting with the Auditor General, and then that and they're going to be starting their interviews with the key individuals across the organizations. And that's my update for today.
Thank you, Tom. Any questions for Tom? Brenda?
Sorry. How long do you think, have you got an idea of how long this audit will take? Are we talking about a 3 months, 6 months?
I through the chair to Brenda, I believe it's closer to 6 months.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
By the time the interviews are done, the report is prepared, and then the review with the respective organizations before it is made public. So yeah, it would be approximately 6 months.
And it's just focusing on the capital
Yes.
planning issues. Okay. No other aspect of our operations. Thank you.
Warren?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll just be interested in knowing what the practice is at the city level in terms of the reports themselves that are produced by internal audit. Are they made public as a general practice?
Through the chair to I'm gonna have to check on that. I don't know. I don't have a definitive answer right now. I don't recall what the AG had said.
Okay.
Great. Thanks. I'll get back to you.
Okay. Okay, we'll now move to item number 9. That's a procurement report. Over to you, Vince.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Attached, this is for information. You will see attached two reports. The first report is the procurement report that outlines the summary of the purchases made in 2024 based on types of purchases as set out by the procurement method and delegation of authority, which included 3 types of procurement method, including the open competition, invitational, and direct award. Also included are change orders and post-purchase approval requests. New for 2024 are it was a joint procurement with TSHC for an employee health benefits provider. I will not take any questions. If there are any questions relating to attachment 1, the procurement report. If not, I will continue with the post-purchase request approval, or PPAR. As outlined in the Toronto Payable Policy, any post-purchase approval request, PPAR, requires the purchase to be reported to the AFRC. In the report for quarter 3 and quarter 4 included 4 items. The rest are less than $1,000, which are not included in here. But just the key highlights here are essentially the 4 items in here, which included in this case here some services for actuarial calculation completed through TELUS Health, a trophy that we made for employee awards and recognition, and the City of Toronto and also Calian for additional charges for the hosting of the TSHC websites. So those are the 4 items included in the PPAR report. And that concludes the report. If there are any questions, I would take them now as well.
Yes, Brenda.
Sorry. Thanks. How much procurement is under our control and how much is done through TCHC? Are there certain areas that are delegated to us and others that are joint, or it's solely through TCHC?
Through the chair, the items that this report that you see there, $18 million, are essentially all of the items that we had control over. And these are mainly for services, corporate items, but also anything from a operational perspective, not including maintenance and not including all the other activities that TCHC handles. So out of the, I would say, $140+ million that was incurred in 2024, this is the portion that we do have control over at this point.
And that was what, 18 million, did you say?
$18 million approximately, yes, that's correct.
And fairly circumscribed. I mean, it's area of responsibility that we're responsible for. I mean, the big ones are through TCHC, so.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, that's correct. Through the chair, that's correct.
And do we participate or are we involved in any of that process, or is they just TCHC proceeds with what they do and then, we're not, because it has an impact on us, obviously, the choices they make and on our operations. And I just wanted to know, we were involved in any way, or is it just within their sphere of responsibility?
Yeah, so through the chair, for anything related through as part of the service delivery agreement and also through the transition agreement, anything relating to the maintenance piece of it, they involve TSHC, more or less on the extent and some feedback. But I can't really comment on that because we're not involved in that process. I know Brad perhaps might be, but from our perspective, those are outside of our area, which they control over at this point.
And as we go forward in our negotiations with our agreement, is there any expectation that there'll be areas that will come under our procurement responsibility? I mean, I know it's hard to speculate in the future, but I'm just wondering that the more we settle our legal and financial relationship, is there conceivably areas that then will be responsible for procurement practices?
Through the chair, at this point right now, we are dealing with this more directly, but certainly in the future, anything to do with TCHC related and TSHC, they will get us involved in this one. But I also want to if you can, Brad, if you want to maybe touch base on this. He has his hand raised as well.
Yes, Brad.
Yeah, through the chair. It's a relationship that we're still cultivating, Brenda, as
Yeah.
far as our input on them. I will say that we received a lot of, we were heavily involved in their procurement for a new pest control vendor because we share
Okay.
vendors. So
Yes.
same
yes.
vendor, and a member of the TSHC team was involved in helping to define the parameters for the RFP, evaluation of the
Good.
RFP,
Right.
and that. And we're strengthening that right now. But as far as procurement on the operations side of it, a lot of it's tied to like preventative maintenance contracts. So the contract to work on the boilers, we couldn't bring in a different vendor because they didn't have two vendors working on the same piece of
Sure.
equipment.
Sure.
So we're really tied to the hip on TCHC with a lot of these items.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. We are looking for a motion to approve this item and recommend to the board. Aaron, will you
Mr.
please explain?
Chair.
Yeah. Uh,
Are we on item 10, Mr. Chair, or?
Yeah,
we
item
just
number
finished?
10, yeah. Yes, please.
Sorry, through the chair for number 10, this is one change order that came up late and included in this report is for approval. It's for Calian iSecurity, and it's for maintenance of TSHC website server and support services. Contract extension to April 30th, 2026 in the amount of 41,613. I believe we will request this approval. Do we do this now, or do we do this?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so we
I'll put
are
up.
in item number 10 now, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Karen.
Okay, Farid, you moved this motion. Yeah, and I need a seconder. I
So
can't
seconded,
see
Mr.
any.
Chair.
Yeah, seconded by Warren. All in favor? With all in favor, be it resolved that AFRC approve the procurement change order as presented. Okay, let us move to item number 11, 2024 TSHC financial results. Vince.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Through December 31st, 2024, TSHC incurred operation expenses of $46,283,516 with total revenue of $51,706,755 for excess revenue over expense of $5.416805 million, including amortization expense. Some key highlights there. We recorded the Q4 surplus from TSHC in the amount of $10,854,026. They were higher than expected costs in salary and benefits of $1.733 million, which we had anticipated in light of the anticipated overall surplus projected throughout 2024. And then, of course, there's also some additional savings in the professional services, legal, and other miscellaneous costs as well. And some of these relates to tenant translation, office-related expenses, staff training and development, and a bit of on the tenant engagement as well. So overall, there is an adjustment of $5.224955 million to settle with TSHC as of the end of the year. And of course, attachment number 2, you will see the statement of financial position at the end of the year. Here you will see that our cash position is about approximately $2 million, along with the rest of the balance sheet accounts in front of you. I will now take any questions if there's any questions related to the 2024 financial statements.
Brenda?
Yes. I'm not understanding why we are showing so much surplus. I mean, there's explanations, but is there something wrong in our estimation process? Is there something wrong in, but it seems, $5 million is a lot of money to be surplus. And then you talk here in terms of reconciliation from a couple of years. I'm just trying to find my notes here. And Can you explain this a little more? Why are we showing these surpluses? I mean, I would think that with each year, you're getting more and more accurate in terms of your estimation. Why are we still showing surpluses?
Through the chair,
If the-
through the chair,
yeah.
in 2024, the budgeting process included some lower than expected in terms of budgeting on the revenue piece of it. There's certainly about a $5.6 million approximately lower in revenue. Therefore, at the end of the year, it came up much higher than that. And then, of course, in terms of the expenses, they were in total almost over $5 million of expenditure that was underspent.
Underspent, okay.
Yeah. So overall, there's about $10.854 million through the reconciliation process with TSHC, which we will go into a little bit more further in depth in the in-camera session, where we talk a bit about that reconciliation process.
Okay.
But certainly, the budget over the last, I would say from 2022 to 2024, we've included in this case here, a number of factors in there that perhaps were not included. I think part of it, of course, is also the hiring process at TSHC as well. But certainly there are a number of extents that on the budget, it was included much higher expenses, but the actual reality came in at a much lower pace. And that's why there's about a $10.854 million surplus from a reconciliation standpoint.
Okay. And we can talk about that later in the closed meeting.
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you then.
Any other questions? Yeah, hearing none, let's move to item number 12. That's 2024 operating surplus settlement. Back to you, Vince.
Yes, so thank you. And through the chair, this item is for approval as discussed in the 2024 TSHC financial result, item number 11. The attached is seeking the FRC to approve and recommend to the board to adopt the agreement, the approval of the 2024 operating surplus to TSHC in the amount of $5.224955 million. And Karen, if you can put that onto the screen, that would be great. So for just a bit of context and background as well, in 2024, we have a surplus similar to what we had in 2022. These two surpluses, we need to get approval from the board for payment.
Any questions for Vince? Okay, so I need a mover and a seconder for this motion.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Moved by, thank you, Warren. Seconded by Farid. All in favor? Carried. With all in favor, be it resolved that the 2024 operating surplus settlement as presented is approved and recommended to the board. Okay. Now we will be moving into a close. We'll be moving into a closed session for a presentation from our external auditors on their 2024 audit findings report. We will be back to the public session after the closed session. I need a mover and a seconder for a motion to transfer into closed session.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Moved by Warren, thank you, Warren, and seconded by Farid. All in favor, carried.